Hi. A few days ago, I sat down here, for 2 days actually, and typed up an essay on what I'd been doing in my 28 years of retirement. Now, as I've said in my videos to date, I've been retired for 28 years, took voluntary redundancy at 59 and am now 87. And I sat down and typed this essay, more or less to clarify to my own mind what I'd been doing in all of that time, in order that at some time in the future I might be able to do a presentation on retirement to a group, an audience, not so much a YouTube audience, but an audience seated in the same room at the same venue, where there'd be interaction, perhaps questions and so forth. And I realised that my retirement has probably been not quite the same as most people's, because in my studies of this subject, I'm told that there are various phases. There's the honeymoon phase when we first retire and we decide that we're going to take care of all those bucket list items if we can afford to. And there's pictures in brochures of people sitting on beaches under colourful umbrellas, sipping champagne or enjoying touring Europe, etc. I didn't have any of that. Then there's the, what am I going to do with the rest of my life part, the depression stage, which so many go through and some never pull out of. So of these 4 phases, the honeymoon phase, the bad depression phases, the search, and then the happiness stage at the end of those 4 phases, I started off at number 3. Because when I retired or took voluntary redundancy, I knew that I wanted to go on doing other things. So the search began what to do in that long retirement. And as I've said in other videos, I had recourse to use skills I'd already learned. I've been an avid writer, writing letters, essays, books, that sort of thing for years. I'd been speaking to audiences all over the place for years. And of course I had this deep interest in self-knowledge and self-understanding, which I've had. So all of those 3 things carried on from when the interests were first arising in me in my early 30s and continued throughout life. So I had these skills to use in my retirement. Finding how I could use these skills, that became the challenge. The search took a long while. Lots of various voluntary work in different organisations, most of them leading to frustration and no, this is not for me. So I started off in phase 3 and eventually found myself in what they call the happiness stage, when you find what you're really good at, what you love doing, and you're able to do it. You don't have to get paid for it. This is the thing which most people would like to have right throughout their working life, being able to do something they really enjoy doing and getting paid for it. Second thing, if you can't get paid for it, do it anyway. And that's what I've been doing. Only of late have I turned to these talking head videos where I talk about retirement, because I feel I'm fairly qualified to do so at this stage. Now, in your situation, if you're coming up to retirement or you're in the early stages of retirement, the things you're going to be worrying about is, can I afford it? You always can. Not many people really go downhill financially when they've retired, not in the Western world. We have all manner of social security to look after us. A few fall through the cracks. Yes, we know that. You probably won't be one of them. So don't worry about the monetary side of it. If you've paid off your house, if you have no big debts, if you can retire in good health, even reasonably good health, where you can walk around the block without panting and worrying about having a heart attack, if you're in reasonably good health and you don't have any big debts, retire as early as you can. Now, as I've said earlier, I've done a lot of speaking to groups, and I've noticed that some groups, for example, Probus clubs, P-R-O-B-U-S, Probus clubs, abound in Australia and New Zealand. When they start off, they usually start off with a flourish. They fill the membership and they might have 100 members. 10 years later, they've got 80 members. 20 years later, they've got 60 or 45 because the people die off and they are not replaced. Point here is this. When you retire early, you've got lots of vigour, vim, feelings of adventure, energy, and you get out there and enjoy it. But as time goes by, that very, very subtly dwindles. So take the youth of your retirement, the early years, and they are between when you retire, whatever age that is, and the next 10 or 15 years after you retire, providing you retire early. Don't wait till you're 70. Certainly don't wait till you're 75. I know people say, I like my job, but it still could be stressful. And you could be wasting a lot of your life just commuting to work. If you truly love your job, truly, you love getting up in the morning and going to it, right? It's up to you whether you leave or not. But my advice is take retirement early and then you can have a long, long, happy retired life. I feel I'm an example of that, and you can be too. Retire early, do something you really love to do, and enjoy your life.